All right, I'll get started here. For everyone watching on YouTube, welcome. Got a lot of cool updates to show everybody today. A lot of the things coming down the pipeline. Of course, we always like to start off the office hours by just kind of giving a, a brief overview of some of our support, some of our support options. You can find all this at stammer.ai/support, like so. It has all of the links to our documentation, how to submit tickets, support tickets, join our Discord, watch all of our YouTube tutorials, join our this weekly office hours call, as well as join our daily support calls and our Thursday accelerator calls. All of this stuff is meant to help everybody succeed using our platform. So definitely take advantage of that when and where you can. I also have the public roadmap and our changelog. We will have a new changelog post here in the next day or two with some of the releases and things that I'll be showing in the next couple minutes. The benefit of being subscribed to this changelog, which is just, email updates and things, is you get notified and you can review and look at all the different features and detail of everything that we do. And of course, we have our docs, our documentation is where we go into detail about all of the different specific features and keep everything updated so that way you know how everything works. So, like I said, we've got a lot of things coming down the pipeline here, and I'll kind of show some of the standout features of the things that will be released in the next couple days. So, first is we have a major update for our analytics. So, this is going to show a lot more different values and numbers that you can use to help identify your top usage sub accounts and or agents, as well as being able to go into detail about which ones are specifically being used the most. So you can select specific sub accounts, or you could select specific agents, and then all of this data will be changed depending on whichever one that you select. We're also going to be introducing some token analytics as well. And this will be very useful for the full SaaS mode and agency users now who have access to the API key and master chat, because this will allow you to see what your average input and output tokens are, which will allow you to figure out and calculate exactly what your cost per message will be and what you need to be charging your customers. We have a calculator that's coming out in the next couple days. That will be linked in our documentation under the Vault OpenAI section right here. It'll be at the bottom here, just finalizing the documentation for that. This will be very beneficial, like I said, for everyone using their own API key who want extended functionality and context for their different AI agents. And this is going to be a trend kind of moving forward with some of the other different things that we are going to be releasing. The first of which is going to be vision and the ability to have the AI agent and inside the chat widget and inside of master chat to be able to read images. And so the way that this is done is going to be a simple percentage markup. So OpenAI has a cost to the images, and depending on how much you want to upsell those images, you can increase the margin like so, and that will increase the amount of money that is deducted from the sub account wallets versus what OpenAI is going to charge you directly. So this is going to be quite useful because this ensures that you're always making a healthy margin. This also matches some other technologies out there that kind of do this in the same way. So we're taking their lead on that and using this as a way to make sure that, not only the functionality is there, but also that agencies are continuously making money. So we're gonna have more about this coming out in the next week or so as we get some of these other updates out. And the whole point of this is to make sure that we can continuously add new functionality and make it cheaper for the agencies to use that functionality, as well as to ensure that agencies can continuously make money from that new functionality as well. And like I said, we'll have a changelog coming out with that as well. One of the other updates that we're going to have, which I'm super excited about, which is going to be the big update to our custom functions tab, formerly known as labs. It's now just going to be called functions. And this will allow for agencies to create connections or custom functions between the AI agent and third-party platforms directly without the need for any middle piece of software. So in the past, we needed some sort of way to translate the information that's coming from the AI agent in order to talk with these third-party APIs. But now we've done that all internally. So for something like getting contact information from a CRM like GHL, we can use GHL's native API and have the AI agent have all of the information, including the authentication through the different tokens and things like that, where everything is now inside of this custom function. And the cool thing is we can essentially utilize the power of the prompt to organize information in the way that the API is expecting it to be sent. So in the past, this is what the majority of this would have to be done by third-party code. But the cool thing is these AI agents can simply format this information as needed. So for example, with the GHL API specifically, it's not just asking for an email value, it's asking for an array of different values that contain the email. So we can simply have the AI agent ask the user for their email address, and then once the email address has been collected, it can format it in this array, and then it can call that function with that array. So that way, when you ask it, I want contact about a user, and then ask it for the email, it then pulls in all of the information about that user from the API directly. So this is really cool because you can do this with other things like Shopify as well, where the connection between the AI agent and Shopify is now direct. So this drastically simplifies how you can connect to third-party platforms. And we're testing this with a lot of other different third-party systems, and we'll have a bunch of tutorials and videos and things about how to do that. So that way you can simply copy and paste this information that we've figured out, or this format that we figured out. So that way you guys can use that within your own clients as well. So super stoked on that one. Excited to get that one out for everybody. One of the other upcoming things is when we release new features, sometimes agencies want to have the ability to test things out before they release it to their customers, or they want to create maybe a new subscription package or something that might include some of these new features. So one of the reasons why we are renaming this to functions, or from labs to functions, is because we're actually going to release a new tab called labs, which is essentially a way for people to enable or disable new features when we release them initially. So all three of these are already out and available to everyone on the different plans. So these are just kind of placeholders for right now. But the idea here is by default, you can, or however you want to run your agency, you can turn these on or off, and then that will either provide or remove access to these certain features for your sub accounts and your users. And so, like again, this is a good thing, so that way we can also get some initial feedback on how these things work before we make them available by default to all agencies. Let's see, what else am I reviewing here? Oh yeah, and then just like with Vision, Master Chat will also now be able to accept documents like PDFs and things as well. So you'll be able to upload PDFs and have it be able to respond to those PDFs. And I have an example here of an image one within the chat. So I just put in this image that, hey there, I have an issue with connecting my custom domain. How do I do it? As formatted as an email. And inside of the prompt, I have a prompt that says your job is to answer emails, and I want you to format everything like an email, start each email like this, end each email by saying this, blah, blah, blah. And then when I could just take a screenshot of an email and respond to this email, and it will pull in all of the information from our documentation and correctly write a response to this person's email by answering their question, but also providing links to further information where they can view that you view that data as needed. So this is something that we've been looking for internally for quite a while. So really excited to get this one out. And then another honorable mention here is we're going to have rate limits finally. So one of the questions that people have been asking is, how do we control our costs or our bot limits and things like that? You could do that now with this message rate limits feature, which is going to be another enable disable feature and allows you to set certain message limits per conversation per a time period. And then this will ensure that nobody is, botting your account or things like that, even though we do have some internal protection already set up for that. This will allow it to be done more on like a manual basis for anyone who's wants that finer control over their message and limits and things like that. So all of these updates, most everything I mentioned should be out in the next day or two, and we'll have a full release notes on everything. And then looking ahead, probably by the end of next week, we are going to continue our work on our voice agents and continue to get that stuff ironed out for you guys because I know a lot of people have been asking about it. It's been a high priority for us. We just kind of have we had some other critical things to get fixed out and get out first. That being said, we're also going to release the latest GPT-4o snapshot of the model. So that will be out and available soon as well. And trying to think if I'm missing anything here. That was quite a lot of things. Yeah. Overall general improvements and all that are continuing. So lots of new things coming out. And yeah. Tim, did you want to add anything?
No, no, I think that's it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any questions? Lucas, you have any questions?
Probably no. No, no questions. All pretty cool little in a good way updates. The limit is a big one, I guess, for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right. Well, I think if there are no other questions, we'll end today's meeting a little bit early and team and I can get back to work on getting some of these things out for you guys. All right.
All right,
Cool.
sounds good. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks everyone for joining and we'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.